We found out on WhatsApp that the terrorists were inside our village. I was getting messages from friends in the area begging for help, and I began to realize we might not make it. The terrorists began working door to door. They were in my backyard. They knocked on my door. I was very afraid, and we had to stay very, very still and quiet to survive.
Pity the poor civilians affected by this war. In the Gaza Strip, some 2 million remain trapped under heavy Israeli bombardment. This side of the border, some 200,000 Israelis have become refugees in their own country. Those who survived the Hamas massacres along the Gaza border in the south have fled north, while whole communities on the northern boundaries have been evacuated south under the threat of a second front against Hezbollah.
Some 120 refugees, half of them children, mainly survivors from the communities near Gaza that were laid waste by Hamas, are sheltering in the Garden Hotel in the northern port city of Haifa. Many of them are severely traumatized.
My name is Noam and I am from Napsor. ב-6 בבוקר התחילו אזעקות.
Noam is a 21-year-old from a village close against the Gaza border. She is still in deep shock, although she says she is lucky because she is alive.
באותו רגע סגרנו את כל החלונות והיינו המון שעות בממ"ד, לא הייתה קליטה.
It started at 6 a.m. with sirens, and we went to our bunker and locked ourselves in, Noam tells us. We found out on WhatsApp that the terrorists were inside our village. I was getting messages from friends in the area begging for help, and I began to realize we might not make it. Over many hours without any IDF help, the civilian security team from her village managed to hold Hamas at bay. But nearby Jewish communities were overrun. Noam's younger sister has lost 8 of her 9 school peer group friends, she says. Vered is with a psychologist in the hotel when we arrive. A single mother she hid from Hamas in her home with 3 children, Sarah 6, Ohai 2, and Amit 5 months, for almost 2 days. They live next door to a police station, only 2 miles from the Gaza border. On Saturday morning, we woke up to sirens. I picked up my baby and went to the bomb shelter, Vered recalls. After a while, I went back to the house to get nappies, water and some snacks from our home. And that's when I heard the gunfire. She called the police, but no one answered. The police were already fighting, unsuccessfully, for their lives. We stayed where we were, and I could hear the battle raging. But by Sunday morning, we had no water, electricity, and then the police station fell to Hamas. The terrorists began working door to door. They were in my backyard. They knocked on my door. I was very afraid, and we had to stay very, very still and quiet to survive. I kept giving my kids snacks, and I let them watch cartoons on my mobile without the sound on. Endless milk for Amit, so no arguments that might lead to our discovery. I had severe anxiety. I was struggling to function even as a mother, but no help came. I felt deserted. She says, I will never go back. Hamas are like the Nazi stories from the Holocaust. But it happened in my house. Now, during the day, I have to function as a mother. But in the night, it all comes back to me. It's very hard to cope. What will happen next? I always had confidence that the army could protect us, Noam says. But I don't know anymore. I also don't know how many will want to go back to our village. Everything is ruined there. It has ceased to exist. What about the bombardment of the Gaza Strip? Her expression hardens. I know I can't live next to those people anymore. It cannot go back to what it was before.
Before October 7th, Shani was a website designer in Tel Aviv. Now she is helping her parents, who own the Garden Hotel in Haifa, look after the influx of refugees.
My name is Shani. I'm usually living in Tel Aviv, but now I came over to Haifa, to my parents' hotel. I help them to arrange all of this we have here, and weddings and happy things, but now that we became a shelter for refugees, We have a lot of donations of clothes. All Haifa citizens bring us many. For children's, for women's, for men's. We have here tons, and this is after they take a lot of clothes from here. We also receive, here you can see the toys. It's just like big one family, Israel in hard time. Everyone support each other. We have 120 people.
And where have these people come from?
We have from Gaza Strip, Talmei Yosef, Nir Am, and also from Sderot, Ashkelon. We have from the north border, Metula, Liman, Shlomi, all the kibbutzim around. The situation here was chaotic because they came here crying, suffering. I don't know if they embedded everything that happened to them and to their family and to their friends.
But if the war escalates,
where will we go? This is the most, the most hard question because we don't have a place to go. All the hotels in Israel are almost full because we have 200,000 refugees now that searching for a home, and we don't know what to do if the things get worse. I'm afraid. I'm afraid for my family, from my fiance now is in the military service in Gaza, also my two brothers. And I don't know, I don't think about it. I focus here on what I'm doing. I'm focused on my job here to help others, and it makes me feel, I don't know if better, but it makes me feel good.
Idit is the mother of 6-year-old Itan. Until October 7th, she and her family were living in a kibbutz only 500 meters from the Lebanese border. Now, she and Itan are refugees in a hotel on the Sea of Galilee, while her husband Oded has been mobilized to an armored unit fighting in Gaza.
What happened is when everything started, I have to say I feel very not secure. My husband in Saturday went to the army, and I left alone in a house that is 5 meters from the border. In my head, I think that what happened in the south was 2 kilometers from the border, 5 kilometers from the border. I'm 500 meters from there, and I cannot sleep all night. After a few days, when the country started to understand what happened, they take all our kibbutz to here, to hotel in the Kinneret. How can you live not secure, thinking that you cannot go to sleep because you don't know if someone get into your house in the middle of the night and take your child? They evacuate 0 to 2 kilometers from the border, and after that 0 to 5 kilometers. There are also a problem that the kibbutzim like 5.1 from the border, that they are not evacuated, but they are there and they are not secured. And nobody knows what can happen if Hezbollah joined this situation. This is different what happened now. It's another situation. It's not soldiers against soldiers. It's a monster against little children. I have to say, before 7 October, my opinion were very different. I want peace. My husband always laugh at me. But now I think that Israel is the most humane. The most human she can be in this situation. If she said that people go out from your home before we bomb. Nobody said to this mother in the kibbutz in Kfar Aza, go out for your house before we came there. They want to kill children. They want to kill women like me. Israel don't want to kill children. Israel want to kill Hamas. And she need to do it now because people in the north and in the south want to live in our country in peace, in quiet, בצורה נורמלית. Normal.
Gaza burns, while today in Israel we are told again and again, nowhere feels safe anymore.